evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a packed Thurrock Civic Hall here in Grays. It is Saturday, the 29th of November 2008, and LDN Wrestling proudly presents Legends Showdown 2. What a night we have got for you here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and what a way to kick things off with a next generation World of Sport match. Danny Garnell making his way to the ring here now to face the Queen's favourite wrestler, David DeVille. Garnell now making his way out for this, one of the biggest matches in his life, Legends Showdown, the top card of the year, the biggest night of wrestling in the country, and Danny Garnell delighted to be a part of it this year to face David DeVille. And he has been working very, very hard, and indeed 2008 has been a very successful year for young Danny Garnell. Another man who has had his fair share of success in 2008 is this man about to make his way to the ring, the Queen's favourite wrestler and indeed personal footman, made page 9 of the Sun newspaper just yesterday. Take a look at David DeVille, one half of the LDN Tag Team Champions, with his partner Lee Walker going in alone here tonight on Legends Showdown and really looking to stamp his place in British wrestling history with a big win here tonight at Showdown 2. David DeVille really full of confidence. Garnell, another very confident young athlete as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this
but the fans solidly behind the footman. Well, this is not how we want to go on here tonight.
Introducing first on my left, coming out of the blue corner, from Woolwich in London, Danny Garnell. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent on my right, coming out of the red corner, from Oxford, David DeVille.
And as I said, both of these two men really looking to stamp their place in British wrestling history with an impressive display here tonight. Legends Showdown 2 here at the Thurrock Civic Hall in Grays. Referee Chris Roberts assigned this bout and he calls for the bell. And there it is. Both of these two men have really had breakout years in 2008. DeVille, as I mentioned, one half of the LDN Tag Team Champions with Lee Walker. And Danny Garnell has recently been announced as the #1 contender to the new LDN TV title. And he will be looking to get a shot at that belt very soon indeed. Collar and elbow tie-up, and Garnell gets the better of it, but he backs up David DeVille into the corner. Doesn't get a clean break, but DeVille not putting up with that at all. And I have a feeling the referee is going to have a lot on his hands here tonight. Back to the lockup. Garnell again with the better of it. Wrist lock nicely applied. Takes DeVille down to his knees. And just hoists him up by that left arm. Bending it back at the elbow joint. And putting an awful lot of pressure on that shoulder as well. And Garnell actually unlucky not to get a submission here, but this is very early on in the match. And DeVille has been training a long time for this one. And if you're watching, Your Majesty, I'm sure your boy is going to do you proud here tonight. Garnell, a cheeky individual. Give him an inch, he will take a mile. Continually bantering with the referee, just trying to get every advantage he possibly can. And there, a blatant hair pull right in front of the referee. And DeVille looking for a way out, and he finds it finally with a headstand. Nicely countered. And Garnell's feet just on the ropes there. And that causes the break, but DeVille fought very well to get out of that hold. And the fans starting to warm to him. This is, of course, Legends Showdown 2. We are celebrating the very best in British wrestling, past and in this match, present. Later on tonight, we will see some of the top stars ever to grace British wrestling rings. But here tonight, two of the best of the current generation. Two men who are going to take this sport to new heights. Shoulder barge there from Garnell, comes off the ropes, DeVille with a leapfrog. And Garnell wasn't ready for him, and he gets sent flying into that bottom rope. Picks up DeVille for the scoop slam. And Garnell, one of the most naturally strong athletes we have here at LDN. And DeVille, arguably one of the most athletic. And we are seeing a great contest between two young stars. Garnell with the strength advantage, but DeVille arguably with the agility. Side headlock cinched in nice and tightly there. DeVille just edging towards that rope. Couldn't quite make it. This time he does, and he comes off nicely. Still with the headlock applied, also trapping the left arm now of Danny Garnell. And Garnell again reaching back for that hair. Garnell digging deep down, looking for a way out. And at the same time, of course, he has to be very careful that those shoulders don't get pinned to the ground. Back up now to his feet. Sends DeVille off the ropes, misses a pair of clotheslines, but catches him with a sleeper hold. And I wonder how well that is applied. He looks to have that on pretty nice and tight. But DeVille able to just slip out of it before the full effects could be felt. But that has got to have taken something out of David DeVille, surely. He looks a little groggy to me, but he's going up top, and Garnell already back up to his feet. And that was a big mistake by the footman. And the Queen's favourite wrestler looked to have landed very hard on his left knee. Unable to get back up to his feet, following that spill from the top rope. Garnell, like a shark smelling blood, goes straight after the injured limb, looking presumably to procure a submission. A couple of boots to the hamstring for good measure. And take a look at that, just bending that left knee, the injured limb, in directions that it was not meant to bend. And this surely has to be all for DeVille. I don't know how much more the young man can take. He is digging deep, but I don't know if anyone can break a hold like that. His only hope surely is to reach for the bottom rope. Well, Garnell, I believe, voluntarily broke that hold. And the referee, I think, is very concerned about the welfare of David DeVille. And he might be inclined to step in and stop this one. But he has to be careful not to give DeVille undue prominence by stopping the match. And Garnell laying his hands on the official, and that is a big no-no. We cannot have wrestlers touching non-wrestlers in any capacity whatsoever. And again, Garnell straight off that injured left knee. A very methodical wrestler. He waited for DeVille to make a mistake, and he pounced. He is now capitalizing on the advantage. And now, for the last 2 or 3 minutes at least, Garnell has not let that left knee out of his sight. Whips DeVille across the ring, and that might have been a mistake, because DeVille able to get a boot up. But straight after that knee again. Straight after the injured leg. And that was enough for Garnell to turn things back around in his favour. Figure 4 leg lock, expertly applied by Garnell. And Garnell really has learned from the best, but I wonder who taught him that. He is just holding on to that middle rope, and while the referee's checking whether DeVille wants to submit, Garnell is getting an illegal leverage advantage, and now the shoulders are down, and DeVille is in an awful lot of pain here in the opening contest of Legends Showdown 2. A next-generation world of sport match, and finally the referee sees it and is forced to step in. And Garnell very, very cocky, and this might come back to cost him, because DeVille able to mount some kind of a recovery, and while Garnell's back was turned, DeVille with a big drop kick. DeVille now in control. Both of these two young men trained at various LDN wrestling schools by the very best wrestlers in the country. A double leg Nelson, and Garnell one step ahead. A desperation move to break that. Nicely done off the second rope. Flying DDT could be enough. The leg was hooked, but Garnell still had enough petrol left in the engine to kick out of that one. DeVille again going up top. Last time he made a terrible mistake, and this time he didn't fare much better either. Getting caught now on that bottom rope, and Garnell has the arm hooked, and he just suplexed him from the very top of the ring. Garnell was just suplexed from the top rope into the center of the ring. The shoulders are down, and somehow DeVille kicks out. And that is twice now that David DeVille has gone to the ropes, and twice it has cost him dearly. And if I were Garnell, I would have thought twice about going up there myself, because he just caught with a snap suplex in midair. And that move may have been a great equalizer for David DeVille, because just look at the face of Garnell. I think he landed hard on the front of his head, and he might be out cold. We are getting a standing 10 count from referee Chris Roberts, and he reached an 8 or a 9 there. Garnell luckily able to shake the cobwebs, at least momentarily. And again, back to that injured leg. You cannot fault Danny Garnell's methodical approach, though it didn't bear fruits on that occasion. A big spine buster there from David DeVille, who again is going up top. Twice this match he has gone up to the top rope, and both times he is... Oh my goodness, the big Cruella DeVille frog splash! 2, 3, and no, he didn't get it. So close. So close. Third time's the charm, and he connected nicely with that frog splash, but it was still not enough to put Danny Garnell away. Oh, and a low blow from Garnell, and the referee clearly saw that, and that is going to be a public warning for Danny Garnell. But a roll-up from the inside cradle, DeVille with the roll-up, and he got it. Unbelievable. David DeVille scores a win. Take a look at this from earlier in the match. Garnell going for that figure 4 again, and David DeVille just grabbed him by the legs, rolled him up inside cradle, and there was nowhere for Garnell to go. Big win here for one half of the LDN Tag Team Champions and the Queen's favourite wrestler, David DeVille. Danny Garnell certainly didn't shame himself, but DeVille is going to be delighted when he returns to the Palace on Monday morning And I'm sure the Queen will be just as happy. What a way to kick things off here at Legends Showdown 2. With a big taste of the future of this great sport of ours. Okay, fans, time now for the matchup that I personally have been most looking forward to here at Legends Showdown 2. Johnny Saint versus Danny Collins. A matchup that runs the spectrum of the world of sport era of British wrestling. Johnny Saint, of course, has been wrestling now for over 5 decades, believe it or not. And Danny Collins, a young man still only 42 years of age, who is just starting to make a big wave in British wrestling when the world of sport was sadly taken off the air in the late 1980s. And it'll be interesting to see Danny Collins now, who has recently returned from retirement to once again wrestle professionally. And Johnny Saint, of course, as we all saw last year at the inaugural Legends Showdown event, came out of retirement for a technical masterclass against Johnny Kidd. And there he is, Danny Collins. Take a look at that man there. He is in absolutely phenomenal shape. But of course, as we have learned from watching wrestling week in and week out, it doesn't matter how big you are or how strong you are. When you are in there with a man like Johnny Saint, it is all about technique. It is all about moves. It is all about grappling skill. And this is going to be a great match, a great test for Collins, a great test for Johnny Saint. And a great treat for all the fans here.
This is made over a 30-minute time limit, with 6 5-minute rounds, 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout to decide the winner. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first on my right hand, coming out of the red corner, he hails from Bristol. He made his professional wrestling debut in September 1983. He's the former British heavy middleweight champion and the former world middleweight champion. Please welcome Danny Collins! Ladies and gentlemen, here is opponent. On my left, coming out of the blue corner, hails from Riddle in North Wales. He returned to the wrestling ring at Legends Showdown last year after a 10-year absence. He's a former British, European and 10-time lightweight champion of the world, the man of 1,000 holds, the legendary Johnny Saint! And ladies and gentlemen, your referee for this contest, former wrestling great from Chelmsford. Please welcome Bob Anthony.
And just look at the caliber of talent in this ring. Bob Anthony, the referee himself, a former wrestling great. Johnny Saint, arguably the greatest wrestler this country has ever produced. And Danny Collins, one of the top young talents in the sport. A handshake, a smile on the face. And the referee calling for the bell. And we are ready to go. Round 1, 6 5-minute rounds. 2 pinfalls, 2 submissions, or 1 knockout will decide this matchup. And as we saw last year, Johnny Saint, coming out of a 10-year retirement, had literally not lost a step in the ring. Still looks to be in fantastic shape. And Danny Collins himself in phenomenal condition as well. And if I know these two men at all, I suspect this will be an absolute masterclass in the sport of British wrestling. Collins with the wrist lock now. If anyone knows a way out of it, it'll be Johnny Saint. Saint says no. Oh, and there it is already, a classic Johnny Saint reversal. Fantastic. And let us not forget, Johnny Saint has not been idle in the last year at all. He has wrestled John Ritchie on a number of occasions. He famously visited the LDN training school to pass on the benefit of his wisdom. And he has wrestled up and down the country and throughout Europe as well. Famously wrestling recently in Germany, Johnny Saint has caught the bug well and truly once again. Former 10-time light heavyweight champion of the world. And that is exactly why, right there. Collins himself, a former middle heavyweight champion of both Britain and the world. And what a feather in the cap of Danny Collins it would be to score a win here tonight at Legends Showdown 2. Johnny Saint, of course, famed for his innovative and unique counters. Johnny Saint, famously known as the man of 1,000 holds, could just as easily be known as the man of 1,000 reversals. And take a look again at the smile on both men's faces. They are just enjoying the pure competition of this matchup. And as they shook hands to start the match, I believe they said, "May the best man win," and I think that is what we will see here tonight. Saint with that right arm of Danny Collins trapped. And Danny Collins taking a page out of Johnny Saint's book there. Using the rope to reverse the hold. Bringing Johnny Saint down to the mat. And again, are we about to see it? Another classic Johnny Saint counter. Into a leg grapevine around the head of leg scissors, excuse me. Collins looking to bridge out of it. Certainly got to avoid the shoulders being pinned. And this is just round one. Unbelievable. Danny Collins, I think, looking for the Johnny Saint headstand. And again, Danny Collins thoroughly enjoying wrestling a man who has been a great inspiration to him throughout his professional career. Almost a teacher versus student matchup. But that would be selling Danny Collins short. Great athleticism from Collins. And Johnny Saint still on his feet. And the bell rings, and the end of round one. The score still 0-0. The two wrestlers return to their cornermen. Alan Lee Travis, you see there, the LDN TV champion in the corner of Johnny Saint. And no rest for the wicked. Round two already. And fans, you are witnessing the very best wrestling match this country has got to offer today, for my money. Snapmare takedown there from Johnny Saint. Pulling back on those shoulder joints, applying pressure to the neck. And Johnny Saint, I think, looking for a pinfall there. It rolls him through. The shoulders are down. And again, another 2 count there. And Collins, I think, just too strong. And that is where the muscles come into play. Wrestling doesn't need to be about weightlifting. It needs to be about skill and technique. And you will not find 2 greater exponents than these 2 men here. Saint says no, but I wonder how long he can hold on. He won't forgive me for saying he's not in the first flush of youth. But we saw him go the distance with Johnny Kidd last year. And another classic Saint counter, nicely done. Right into that hammerlock. And that brought Danny Collins straight down to the mat. Very painful maneuver indeed, the hammerlock. Basic, but when applied correctly, can be devastating. Saint on top, Danny Collins struggling to keep that shoulder up. And the referee says the left shoulder is just marginally off the canvas. Collins bridging up. Phenomenal upper body strength. And my goodness, what a display of pure power we are seeing. Absolutely remarkable display by Danny Collins. Oh, and a backslide. The arms are hooked and the shoulders are down. And in round 2, we very nearly saw Danny Collins go 1 full up against Johnny Saint. That backslide really came out of nowhere. Certainly caught me off guard, but Johnny Saint, 1 step ahead as always. Going now for that abdominal stretch. And you can see he's leaning into the ribs of Danny Collins, just trying to put as much pressure on the body of Collins as he possibly can.
Come on, Danny.
More unique and innovative offence there from Johnny Saint. And a clean break as well. And the 2 men right back at it. They lock up again, and Johnny Saint with a modified backbreaker there, putting a lot of pressure on the lower spinal region of Danny Collins. And you can see as well his neck absolutely strained to the limit. It's all about twisting and manipulating joints, and also about outthinking your opponent and staying 1 step ahead. What a combo there from Johnny Saint. Collins just cannot keep up, and I can barely keep up. A roll up, and the shoulders are down, and Collins scurrying away there. The speed of Johnny Saint never fails to astound me. And Collins has got to be wondering what it's going to take to put the old man away. Now the fans really getting into this matchup. They cannot wait to see who will score the first fall. Oh, nicely done there, Danny Collins. The shoulders are down, but it's... No, they're not. The Johnny Saint ball, and right on the bell as well. 2 rounds into this matchup, and still, oh, just testing each other. The young lion and the old master, and you see there, Jason Sensation, the corner man for Danny Collins as well. And that is why LDN, one of the top promotions, in the top promotion in the United Kingdom today, they are taking the sport to a new level. We are seeing the best of yesterday, and we have already seen the very best of today. And our wrestlers always seeking to improve. Alan Travis jumped at the chance to be a cornerman for Johnny Saint, as did Jason Sensation for Danny Collins. They wanted to get up close and personal to two of the finest technicians this country has ever seen. A real learning experience for these two young men. And much like you and me, they have got the best seat in the house. Saint just twisting that ankle back. Possibly looking for a bow and arrow-like maneuver. I think he's going to go for it. Are we going to see the surfboard? Pulling back the left arm, Collins flailing for that bottom rope. But he couldn't reach it in time, and Johnny Saint, I think, is going to fall back. And we are going to see the surfboard. Can he get him over? Either way, certainly a very painful move there for Danny Collins, but Saint says no, he's not ready. He's too strong. And that is almost a leitmotif in this matchup. Johnny Saint just not quite strong enough for Danny Collins. So he goes back to what he knows best. A bridge, the shoulders are down, and that has to be all. There it is, the first fall of round 3 goes to Johnny Saint, and Danny Collins can't believe it. And Johnny Saint had to work hard for that one, you can see.
Round 3, first fall of the contest to Johnny Saint.
So Johnny Saint goes up a fall. Take a look at this. Unbelievable agility for a man of his age. Just bends him in half. The shoulders are down. Referee Bob Anthony goes underneath. And Saint gets a pinfall, and a nice handshake there as well from Danny Collins. Certainly no hard feelings between these two men. And don't get me wrong, the matchup is far from over as well. 6 5-minute rounds, 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout to decide. Saint 1 fall up. But there are still 3 rounds to go. And Saint, I think, knows he'd like to finish this one quickly if he can. And likewise, Collins knows he needs to equalise quickly if he is going to stand a chance to defeat the master. Still the smile on both men's faces. They are enjoying testing each other. They are pushing each other to the very limit of their capabilities. And every single fan in attendance is having a fantastic time. And Johnny Saint, I believe, going for the submission. We have seen him cause a number of young stars to submit here in LDN, but not Danny Collins. Not with that maneuver, at least. Ooh, boot to the back of the head, and that must have stung. Collins comes off the middle rope, gets caught with a takedown from Saint. Leapfrog. And Collins walked into that one, or did he? He equalises in round 4. Danny Collins absorbing the knowledge passed on to him from Johnny Saint like a sponge. That cover almost a mirror image of the cover made by Johnny Saint in the last round. Take a look at that, hooking the legs with his own legs. Nowhere for Saint to go. And just minutes after Johnny Saint went 1 fall up, Collins levels the score. 2 rounds to go, the score 1 fall apiece. The bell rings and round 5 now underway. And I suspect this one might have just got a little bit more serious. Collins desperate to keep those shoulders off the mat. And reverses. And Saint did not see that one coming. He's got to be impressed by the display shown there by Danny Collins, but he's also got to be thinking of a way out of it. And you can bet he knows 5 or 6. Saint, I think, knows he's not strong enough to outpower Danny Collins, so he's got to look for another way out. He's got to use leverage. And take a look at that, just pivoting his body, just trying to find an angle. And that's one way of doing it. That is one way of doing it. And that is how he made his living. That is how he made his name, not just in England, but around the world. And that is a fast count there from referee Bob Anthony. And both men struggle to beat 9. Saint whipping Collins across the ring. Meets him with a headbutt to the sternum by the looks of things. Collins looking for a double leg Nelson, and the shoulders are hooked. And I thought we had a winner in round 5, but Saint somehow able to kick out. Nice cartwheel there from Johnny Saint. Comes off the ropes, twists around the legs, but Collins is on top. He's got the legs hooked, and he's got it. In round 5, Danny Collins defeats Johnny Saint 2 falls to 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, in round 5, the winner of the match fight, 2 falls to 1, Danny Collins.
Take a look at this. Johnny Saint, I thought, going for the cover, but he left himself wide open. Danny Collins held the legs, hooked them down, pinned the shoulders, and in 5 rounds, Danny Collins defeats Johnny Saint 2 falls to 1 in what, for my money, is one of the best matches I have seen in a British wrestling ring this year. Well, fans, time now for the big one. The LDN British Heavyweight Champion, Yorghos Christopoulos, here tonight to wrestle Kendo Nagasaki for the Sword of Excellence. And of course, winner takes all. Sword of Excellence versus the big gold belt, the most important championship gold in the country. Yorghos Christopoulos, of course, won the championship last year at Legends Showdown 1, defeating John Ritchie, and he has held on to that belt ever since. So tonight marks approximately the 1-year anniversary of his championship reign, and in that year he has taken on any and all comers, and pretty much without exception sent them packing. The only thorn in his side has been Kendo Nagasaki.
Tonight, I was meant to wrestle the character of Kendo Nagasaki. But for the 3rd time now, Kendo has ducked me again and he's not showing up tonight. Now, I still want what is rightfully mine, and that is the Sword of Excellence. So I come here to fight for my British title on the line, and I want what is rightfully mine, the Sword of Excellence. But unfortunately, Kendo has not shown up. I thought he'd be here tonight and prove his legendary status, but obviously not. He sold each and every one of you out. Instead, he'd rather be making up stories on YouTube. But being a fighting champion, I'm here tonight to perform for LDN's Premier.
Well, what we are hearing now from the British champion is that Kendo Nagasaki has not arrived here this evening. It sounds like he has had a falling out with LDN management, apparently, but I suspect it might have something to do with not wanting to face Yorghos. 2 or 3 times now he has been set to fight Yorghos one-on-one for the championship, and each time he has found a way to weasel out of that match. And unfortunately for the fans, he has found another way out here at Legends Showdown 2, but that is Blondie Barrett, tag team partner of Nagasaki, and that looks like he has got the sword of excellence.
Blondie Barrett, I want to know, where's Peter? Where is he?
Have some respect. Give me that. You lot, keep your mouth shut, right? You're so ugly, you. Listen to me. I've taken this sword. This sword stays with me. This is a legend show. I don't even know what you're doing in the ring, boy. You'll never be a legend. I'm telling you. Don't have a bit of respect, you. Listen, I brought this sword, it's up against that belt. This stays with me, that goes on with me. I'm not giving you that, I need the sword on it. I need the sword of the belt.
Well, it looks like...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this contest, as you've heard, is the Sword of Excellence against LDN Championship belt match made over an 18-minute time limit, with 6 3-minute rounds, 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout to decide the winner. Introducing first on my right, coming out of the red corner from Sheffield in South Yorkshire. He's the former British mid-heavyweight champion, Blondie Barrett. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce his opponent on my left and coming out of the blue corner, originally hailing from Athens in Greece. He is the LDN British champion, Yorghos. Please stop us!
Well, this is a big match in the career of Yorghos Christopoulos. 1 year ago today, he won that big gold belt, and tonight he is facing Blondie Barrett with the belt on the line. Referee Chris Roberts there holding up the belt. That is just one of the things at stake in this match. The Sword of Excellence, of course, also on the line in this winner-takes-all match. 6 3-minute rounds this time. And it would appear that Blondie Barrett has stepped in for Kendo Nagasaki. Again, from what I can gather, Nagasaki running scared of the champion. We saw a couple of months ago on LDN Capital TV that Yorghos Christopoulos rightfully won that Sword of Excellence in a ladder match in Hanley. However, at the conclusion of the bout, Nagasaki stole the sword back.
Round 1.
And Yorghos has been chasing it ever since. And I think it's just a question of pride now for Yorghos. Recently in Wolverhampton, Kendo Nagasaki came very close to losing his mask. And I think that he knows that Yorghos is a better man than him. He knows he's not as young as he once was. And I think, worried about the potential defeat at the hands of the young Greek, he decided to sit this one out and send his henchman Blondie Barrett in instead. And it's going to be an interesting matchup. Both of these men, no strangers to one another, particularly in those tag team encounters with Kendo Nagasaki. We see Barrett having words with his cornerman there, Gregory Cortez. A man who was a part of the infamous six-man tag team matchup in this very building, the Gray's Civic Hall, towards the beginning of 2008. That was when Kendo Nagasaki came out of retirement, his first in-ring appearance for over a decade. And now, less than 1 year on, he is running scared from Yorghos Christopoulos, the LDN heavyweight champion. And of course, we see in his corner is the concerned face of Hakan. And these two men have been training partners now for the last several months. They have wrestled a number of tag team matches together. They have travelled up and down the country together. And they have formed a very close bond, because going back to that infamous six-man tag team match, Kendo Nagasaki threw a table on the skull of Hakan, and that caused him to have to go to hospital for several days. And Hakan was this close to quitting the sport of wrestling, and it was a visit to his hospital by Yorghos Christopoulos that made him decide to carry on. And Yorghos, I think, has had enough. He has had enough of Nagasaki, he has had enough of Blondie Barrett, and he is not going to take any nonsense anymore. He has come here with one purpose on his mind, and that is to defeat whoever is put in front of him and claim what is rightfully his, the Sword of Excellence. Barrett taking this one on the outside. Oh my goodness! I believe he just punched the steel ring post. And now this one finding its way up into the bleachers. Barrett may have started something he wish he hadn't. Yorghos happy to take this one all the way around the Grey Civic Hall if he has to. He's going to make sure those ringside fans get a great souvenir. And this is an absolutely wild matchup. I have never seen such crazy action. Barrett going up to the top rope. Comes off. Double axe handle. And that double axe handle really turned the tide of this matchup around. European uppercut, and Yorghos whipped across the ring. Caught with a splash in that turnbuckle. And that was just the end of round one, believe it or not. Oh, and that was well after the bell. At the very least, that's got to be worth a public warning, surely. Come on, referee. Utter disdain on the face of Blondie Barrett.
Seconds out, round two.
My goodness, these two men have just wrestled all around the building, and that was just the first round. Who knows what's going to happen the rest of this matchup? 5 rounds remaining, the score still 0-0. Barrett with the upper hand, as a concerned Hakan looks on in the corner of the LDN British champion. And Barrett, I think, was attempting to loosen a turnbuckle pad, and Hakan rightfully stepped in, but he received a thumb to the eye for his troubles. Meanwhile, Yorghos getting taken out by the corner man of Blondie Barrett, Gregory Cortez. And Hakan, as much as he's trying to help his charge, is unfortunately only ensuring he suffers even greater punishment at the hands of both Barrett and Cortez. And again, Blondie Barrett goes to loosen a turnbuckle cover. Oh no. Oh no. In the second round, Yorghos Christopoulos may have just been knocked cold. His head was just rammed into that exposed steel cover. And Barrett taking full advantage of that one. And things are not looking good for the LDN British champion. Nonetheless, a reversal. Monkey flip sends Barrett across the ring. Barrett gets a boot up. And Blondie Barrett going up top. Yorghos has caught him. And Yorghos turning things around, but for how much longer can he manage? A cheap shot there from Blondie Barrett. Slowed down the champion. And Yorghos with a roll-up. Backslide, the shoulders are down. And just a 2 count. That was a little too close for comfort there for Blondie Barrett. And he ended that one in short order. And in round 2, Blondie Barrett goes 1 full up.
Round 2, the first floor of the contest to Blondie Barrett.
And take a look at the replay. A big close fist right to the throat. Knocked Yorghos Christopoulos silly. There was nowhere he could go. Hook of the leg, 1, 2, 3. But it was all thanks to that close fist. Blondie Barrett goes 1 full up against the British champion here at Legends Showdown 2. And this is just ridiculous. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 2, Blondie Barrett receives his first public warning.
And a public warning for Barrett. And there's the bell. And the start of round 3 looks like it's going to take place outside of the ring, with Gregory Cortez laying the boot into Yorghos Christopoulos. This matchup was just out of control. And the referee distracted, you can see in the corner of your screens, by Yorghos' cornerman, Hakan. They are now fighting up onto the entranceway. And they are falling into the seats, and those fans have scarpered because they don't want to be any part of this crazy brawl. Yorghos head first into the steel ring post. Take a look at that. Forehead first right into the steel pole. And that pole didn't move an inch. That pole did not budge. And finally Hakan evening up the score somewhat. Taking out Gregory Cortez on the outside, but Blondie Barrett already back in the ring. He is not going to give Yorghos 1 minute of breathing space. Barrett already 1 full up. And I think he knows just how close he is to the LDN British Championship. It is within his grasp. We saw the belt change hands last year at Legends Showdown. Barrett would love to see that tradition continue. Barrett again taking this one outside. Back to that steel ring, but he's got the ringside bell. He just clocked him with the ringside bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blondie Barrett receives his second and final public warning.
A second and final public warning. I don't think that's gone far enough. I don't think the referee went far enough there. Chris Roberts, you should have disqualified the man. Barrett again going after Hakan. And again, the referee tied up with the cornerman and not paying attention to what's going on inside the ring. said it once, I'll say it again. I think the referee has got the hardest job in wrestling. He needs to have eyes in the back of his head. And now, Blondie Barrett has got the sword. He has got that sword. And we are just lucky it wasn't unsheathed. We certainly can't allow swordplay of any kind during a wrestling match. Not here in LDN. And there's the bell, and the 3 minutes are up, and that is the end of round 3, I believe, which means we are halfway through this matchup, and Blondie Barrett 1 fall up. And this is most unorthodox.
Listen, Yorghos. To be a legend, you don't need a legend to be a legend. There's no way you ever will be any legend.
Well, that is most unorthodox. Highly offensive behaviour.
Seconds away, round 4.
The bell rings, round 4 begins. Barrett still with the 1 full advantage. Not even allowing Yorghos back up to his feet. Stomping down on the lumbar region, damaging those kidneys. But Yorghos turns it around and gets a knee to the nether regions. Right in the unmentionables. Oh, and again! Straight in that groin, and an atomic drop for good measure. And those ghoulies are goners. Yorghos now on fire. Where is he going to take this one? He's got to watch the referee. Oh, again, he's going to get a public warning for that, but it was worth it.
Yorghos receives his first public warning.
Oh, I could crush a grape, said Yorghos. Unbelievable. He got a public warning for it, but it was worth it, I think. For the damage it will have inflicted upon Blondie Barrett. Comes off with a flying cross body. 2, 3. And he gets the equaliser.
Ladies and gentlemen, round 4, an equalising fall to the LDN champion, Yorghos.
And Yorghos has snapped. Take a look at this. Comes off the middle. Flying cross body. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. And Yorghos has gone crazy, but he hasn't won the match yet.
Referee, that's how it counts to 2.
Well, we just saw the replay, Blondie Barrett, and you are wrong, sir.
I said 2.
No doubt about it, that was a 3 count, and the referee doesn't need to justify himself anyway. The referee's decision, as always, is final. Ah, the last recourse of the scoundrel. The loose turnbuckle covering. Look at that steel ring. Yorghos again slammed head first. Big left fist, a closed fist as well. Despite what he's telling referee Chris Roberts. 5 rounds into this matchup and the score tied at 1-4 apiece. This one could go to sudden death. Yorghos with a scoop slam out of nowhere. And that's what he has to do. He has to rely on his strength. He has to use that speed advantage brought about by his youth. Because Barrett is a wily veteran. And he knows every trick in the book, including that one. Headbutt to the back again, just working on those kidneys. Yorghos fighting back with the fans on his side, but an aborted aeroplane spin appeared to knock out the official. The legs of Blondie Barrett, I think, just knocked out Chris Roberts, who has been incapacitated, and now Gregory Cortez up at the corner. And Blondie Barrett has got, that looks like the ceremonial salt bag. Nagasaki salt. I knew his fingerprints would be all over this one. Oh, right in the eyes, but I think Cortez got the worst of it. I think Yorghos ducked, and now Blondie Barrett with a face full of the salt. Barrett with a face full of salt, and a can on the outside, pummeling on Cortez. What a bridge, the shoulders down, and Yorghos successfully defends the LDN British Championship and captures, finally, the Sword of Excellence in round 5 here at Legends Showdown 2.
And still the LDN champion.
Yes, take a look at the replay there. Yorghos dug the salt, grabbed the bag, threw what remained of the day into the face of Blondie Barrett. A can on the outside taking care of Cortez. 1, 2, 3. The winner of the match, still the LDN British champion, and now the rightful owner of the Sword of Excellence, Yorghos Christopoulos. Again, Blondie Barrett, the referee's decision is final.
You all saw that! You saw it into me! Diabolical! Diabolical referee! Diabolical so-called champion! I challenge you again! Street fight, cage, lumberjack match, anything you want, boy!
Barrett's had enough chances.
Never mind, pass me the mic. Who the hell do you think you are?
Listen to me. You're an old sad man, just like your boyfriend came over the circuit. Listen to me. Move back. On Wednesday. On Wednesday, in the middle of the march, Thurrock Civic Hall, you and Yorghos in a steel cage match. So, I get you cover to your legs and get out my hall.
Wow, what an
Oh,
announcement.
yeah, Bagger. Don't you worry. You've been in the cage with me as well. 2 on 1. I'm not bothered. I've done more cage matches than you've had up the years, boy. I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of the power of the pen. I'm not scared of anything. Some people might be, but I'm not.
Well, Blondie Barrett asked for it, and Mr. Bagger gave it to him. A steel cage match in Wolverhampton. Blondie Barrett versus Yorghos Christopoulos. And Barrett not best pleased. But take a look in the ring.
If you want to be in the cage match, why don't you bring your boyfriend Ken along with you? By the way, we all know you're cheating, but we also know backing down is that you're a loser.
Well, Legends Showdown has been good to Yorghos Christopoulos. Last year he won the British Championship, and this year the Sword of Excellence. But he may have made a powerful enemy in Blondie Barrett. Well, fans, making his way to the ring, Ponsonby Pendleton Pratt, the butler of that man right there, gentleman John Mount Ritchie. Himself, of course, a former LDN British champion. Last year he lost that very belt right here at Legends Showdown 1. And he is going to be looking to make amends somewhat for that here tonight at the second annual Legends Showdown. Something about the gentleman aspect of him that doesn't quite ring true sometimes. I'm sure I've seen those curtains before somewhere. Nonetheless, Ritchie looks to be in a very good mood here tonight. I wonder how long that will last for. Kiss for that beautiful young lady in the front row. And a lovely start to the night for gentleman John Mount Ritchie. So called, of course, because he's a big fan of the Mount Evans rules. And his butler, Pentonby Podlington Pratt, the only cornerman in British wrestling, to my knowledge, to serve water to his charge out of a champagne flute. Nonetheless, we await his opponent making his return. Well, this is really something quite special, folks. He has been retired for 25 years. And he is coming back here tonight for Legends Showdown 2. The one and only Johnny Kincaide. A real giant of a man. Kincaide honoured last year at Legends Showdown 1 in the Parade of Legends. And sources tell us that it was that tribute, it was Legends Showdown 1 that gave him the bug, gave him the urge to get back into the ring and step out of retirement and see if he can still go. And I guess we will find out here tonight. Let's head down to ring announcer Steve Litton.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is made with an 18-minute time limit. That's 6 3-minute rounds with 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout to decide the winner. Introducing first, on my left, coming out of the blue corner, accompanied to the ring by his butler, Ponsonby Pendleton Pratt. Will you please welcome the former LDN.
Thank you, future. I have an issue that it just proves you can't get staff these days. Now, before I introduce myself, I would just like to say I have no fear of you, Johnny Kincaide. I have a little respect for you, the kind of respect you have for a king. When it walks in your path and you have to put it out of the way. And now I will introduce myself. I am soon to be a lord, but at the moment I am Gentleman John Mount Ritchie. Former, I'm not notorious. Shut your mouth or go out. You can't be quiet when I'm trying to talk, don't come here. John Mount Ritchie. And my faithful assistant and personal hairdresser, Mr. Ponsonby Pendleton Pratt.
What a hideous individual.
And especially for you, I have a new anthem that I shall sing for you now. Can I have our music, please? You cannot sing along if you wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, on my right coming out of the red corner from Milton Keynes, and is stepping back into a wrestling ring for the first time in 18 years. Will you please welcome the former European heavyweight champion, Johnny Kincaide.
Pendleton Pratt is getting in the ear of the official, making sure that full and thorough checks are taken out on Johnny Kincaide. And oh my goodness, if I could offer him one piece of advice, get your own house in order, sir. That's singing. Somewhere in the greater Thurrock region, dogs are having a party. But here in the Civic Hall, my goodness. The landlord might want to check that some of the windows aren't broken before we get our deposit back here tonight. That was truly horrendous. Nonetheless, Johnny Kincaide, he has been out of action for, according to our ring announcer, 18 years, and he is back tonight. And Legends Showdown is all about surprises. It's all about the stars of yesteryear, the legends of the sport, the men who paved the way. We have already seen the return of Danny Collins here tonight. Johnny Saint stepped out of retirement for the first time last year. And Kincaide stepping up to the plate now. He was honoured in last year's Legends Parade, and he got the bug. He was bitten, and he just had to come back. I don't know if it's for one night only. I don't know if he's looking for a part-time return, but he just wants to see if he can still go. And my goodness, by the looks of things, he still can. Seconds into round one with a backslide, Johnny Kincaide goes up 1-4 against gentleman Myatt Ritchie. Take a look at the replay there, not wasting any time. Johnny Kincaide just rolls him up, pins those arms, and in the very first round, Johnny Kincaide goes up 1-0 to nothing. 6-3-minute rounds, 2 pinfalls, 2 submissions or a knockout will decide the winner. And John Ritchie already finds himself a fall down, 1-0. And I believe round 2 seconds away now. Well, John Ritchie not happy about something, but I think it's his own shortcomings as much as anything that are the reason that he's 1-0 down now. I suspect John Ritchie very severely underestimated the athletic prowess of Johnny Kincaide. Indeed, we heard him say that he respected him about as much as a bull that rolled in front of him in the park, but he just had to kick out of his way. And I think those words are going to come to bite him on the bottom, because Johnny Kincaide came here to wrestle, and by the looks of it, came here to wrestle very well. Kincaide, of course, retired from the sport for 18 years. Amongst the many ventures he has undertaken, he has written a book. He is now a respected and accomplished author. Ringside Seat, the book by Johnny Kincaide, memoirs of his wrestling career. And that is available now, and it is a great read, I don't mind telling you. knows, if this comeback goes well, there might be a volume 2 someday. And round 2 has now been going for several minutes, and I don't think John Ritchie has even stepped into the ring yet. And Ritchie, I think, has said enough's enough. Ritchie, I think, has had enough of this one. You can see the cogs whirring in his mind. Not the brightest of chaps, but certainly one of the most ruthless. And Kincaide, I think, just chomping at the bit to get this one underway again. He's probably thinking it won't take him more than a couple of seconds to get the winning fall. Ponsonby there just aggravating Johnny Kincaide's ring man, Ted Fretwell. And that is the end of round 2, and I don't even think John Ritchie stepped into the ring. I don't think John Ritchie set foot in the ring for 1 second of round 2. Unbelievable. Well, he's a fall down. He's going to have to get in there at some point, or he will lose this match 1-0. And John Ritchie getting a well-needed rest. Pardon my sarcasm. After that strenuous round 2. Going for the lock-up, Ritchie gets the upper hand. Nicely countered there by Kincaide. One of the true big men of the sport, tempted with a closed fist, but he's come this far. I don't think he wants to damage his opportunities here in LDN. And an elbow to the stomach, perfectly legal. And that meets the approval of the referee. 3 rounds into this matchup. And Kincaide leading 1-0 after scoring a shock pin in just seconds in the first round of this match. Technically, John Ritchie's playing catch-up, but we have not seen him particularly on the offense in the second round, certainly not at all in the second round. And indeed, Kincaide still seems to have the upper hand in the third round of this match. Maybe looking for a submission. In fact, the shoulders were down there. And Ritchie just getting that right shoulder up in the nick of time. And again, very hard to tell if the shoulders are up or down there. Such is the body mass of Kincaide. Knee to the stomach. And again. Fans, you have to remember, Johnny Kincaide has not wrestled for 18 years. I dare say many of the people watching right now were not even alive 18 years ago. Big European uppercut. And maybe a closed fist. Well, I didn't get a good look at that. The referee's let it go. And he is issuing a 10 count. He is issuing a 10 count to Kincaide, who able to get back up to his feet. And again, met with an elbow to the spine by John Ritchie. And I think Ritchie has probably had enough fun and games for a while now. He has realised that he is very close to a defeat and does not wish to be humiliated by this great veteran of the sport. Raking the eyes against the top rope, and that's surely got to be worth a public warning. but one is not issued. And did that Pratt just put something in the knee pad of John Ritchie? I suspect he did. We got a pretty good look there from our LDN cameramen. And there it is. Notice John Ritchie with that knee pad. Looks to be bulging in a rather uncomfortable way. And I am certain that some sort of foreign object of some sort was placed in that. And as I was about to say, we are seeing some slightly more lenient officiating than we might otherwise, just due to the gravity of this show. It's such a big show, such an important event in the history of British wrestling, that I think the referees know that we don't want to see too many disqualifications if possible. Wherever possible, we would like to see clean decisions, pinfalls and submissions. There is only so far these referees can be pushed, and believe you me, they won't hesitate to disqualify a John Ritchie if they think he has transgressed the rules too far. That round took quite a lot out of Kincaide. 3 rounds gone, 3 rounds to go. We are at the exact midway point of this matchup. And the strain, I think, starting to show on the face of Johnny Kincaide. It is clear now that his game plan was to end this one early. He obviously won't have the stamina that he had 18 years ago. He got a very quick pinfall decision in round 1. And then Ritchie kept him hanging on in round 2. 3 fared no better, but here in round 4, he seems to have started off as he means to continue. Just crotching John Ritchie on that lower turnbuckle. And Ritchie, I think, looking for some medical attention from Ponsonby. I think that... Well, I'm not sure we need a close-up of that, fans, but I dare say that that rather goes beyond the call of your average cornerman. And I think we get the idea with that. Come on, referee, get this man out of the ring. I think he's... Oh, my goodness. Oh, and an atomic drop there from Kincaide. Nice takedown, drops the leg across the throat and upper body of John Ritchie. Kincaide already 1 fall up, looking to capitalise. Imagine if he were to defeat the former LDN champion 2 falls to nothing. Well, he went for a second leg drop, and unfortunately for him, John Ritchie 1 step ahead, just able to roll out of the way. Well, Ritchie loosened that turnbuckle pad, and Kincaide was sent back first. And again, a second time into the exposed steel ring. And as the referee was issuing the public warning, Ponsonby with that steel cane, the steel tip of the cane, right across the spine of Kincaide. And now there is, well, of course, the submission there. And that is just despicable behaviour there from Pratt and Co. And the referee coming down very harsh. Take a look at this. The steel buckle had been exposed, and while the referee was issuing a public warning to our ring announcer, Ponsonby stepped in with the cane, whacked it across the back of Kincaide. And John Ritchie applied that submission hold, but it was academic. There was no way Kincaide was going to be able to kick out of that, and I'm not even so sure he's going to be able to continue. Ted Fretwell, his cornerman there, a 45-year World of Sport veteran cornerman.
his way. Round 5.
And again, take a look at that. Plain as the nose on my face. Something is down there. Something is in that knee pad. Come on, referee, you must be able to see that. And this match is taking its toll on Johnny Kincaide. He came out of the blocks all guns a-blazing, but 5 rounds in and all of a sudden he's not looking quite so strong. And that is the game plan of John Ritchie, as I said. Kincaide wanted to get this one over with quickly.
Ladies and gentlemen, round 5, John Ritchie receives his second and final public warning.
Finally disposing of the evidence. And another submission hold there. He's been disqualified. He has been disqualified. Let's await the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, in round 5, the winner of the match by disqualification, Johnny Kincaide.
Well, Ritchie thought he'd won, as did I, but take a look at that. The referee saw that. He saw the metal disc being thrown back to Ponsonby, and he knew exactly what had happened. There it is, caught red-handed. John Ritchie thought he was having his hands raised in victory. He'd been disqualified. And that means Johnny Kincaide wins 2 falls to 1. And a little bit of fun with Ponsonby as well, my goodness. That headbutt just sent him into the middle of next week. Not too many butlers get danger money, but poor old Ponsonby. And what a return to action here for Johnny Kincaide. It was a tough match, but he beat the former LDN champion 2 falls to 1. What a show, what a return to the ring. What a match. And what a night we have seen so far. Legends Showdown 2. The return of Danny Collins. Johnny Saint in action, the best of the next generation. And now a returning Johnny Kincaide, 18 years out of retirement, defeats John Mount Ritchie. Well, fans, earlier tonight we saw the Legends Parade. Many of the top stars of wrestling past were honoured in a delightful ceremony hosted by the head of the Wrestlers Reunion, Frank Reimer. Mick McManus among them. Up next, though, fans, a man who is sure to be a legend, about to take place in his last ever televised match. Johnny Kidd, the man who stepped up to the plate against Johnny Saint last year at Showdown, about to wrestle in front of the TV cameras for the last time against Keith Myatt. Well, fans, main event time now here at Legends Showdown 2, and what a match it's going to be. Making his way to the ring now, you see the shadowy figure of Keith Myatt. Myatt, of course, about to face the one and only Johnny Kidd in his last televised bout. He has been winding down now for a couple of years, and tonight is the last time you will see him wrestle in front of the TV cameras. And what a way to go, the last match, the main event of Legends Showdown 2. And Keith Myatt, of course, we have seen him recently here in LDN on Capital TV up in Wolverhampton, I believe. Caused quite a stir, nearly, I believe, started a riot. Obviously looking to do the same here tonight. Not a fan of the how to win friends and influence people style of wrestling. Oh, ring announcer Steve Litton doing the honours there with the middle rope. And there you see senior referee Bob Stafford in control of this one, and he is as no nonsense as they come. He won't take any nonsense whatsoever from Keith Myatt, or Johnny Kidd for that matter. And if one name is synonymous with Legends Showdown, it is that man's name right there, Johnny Kidd. Kidd wrestled not once but twice last year at Legends Showdown against Brian Goldbelt Maxine in the opener, and then again against a returning Johnny Saint in a classic matchup. But he knew he didn't have much left, and so he wanted to give the very best he possibly could.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is made over an 18-minute time limit. That's 6 3-minute rounds with 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout to decide the winner. Introducing first on my right, coming out of the red corner, and hailing from Stoke-on-Trent, he is the former Midlands area mid-heavyweight champion, Keith Myatt. And, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent on my left, coming out of the blue corner, hails from Luton in Bedfordshire. He made his professional wrestling debut in 1978, and tonight marks his very final televised wrestling appearance before he retires. He made 24 appearances on ITV's World of Sport. He was the 2007 LDN Golden Grappler Trophy Champion, trained for the ring by the late, great Ken Joyce. Will you please welcome Johnny Kidd?
And what a send-up for Johnny Kidd. What a matchup. Johnny Kidd against Keith Myatt.
Listen in, Kidd. There's one thing. This might be your last TV match, but when I finish with it, it'll be your last match.
Well, fighting words there from Keith Myatt.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are referee for this contest from Dartford in Kent, former World of Sport referee Bobby Stafford.
Bobby Stafford, the referee, as I said, a no-nonsense official if ever there was one, and a World of Sport referee to boot. Arguably the most experienced referee in the country today. And he is going to have his hands full here tonight. The main event of Legends Showdown 2. 6 3-minute rounds. 2 falls, 2 submissions, 1 knockout to decide. Keith Myatt v Johnny Kidd in Johnny Kidd's final televised bout before retirement. And Keith Myatt, I think, more distracted by some of the taunts of the ringside fans. He might just want to turn his attention to that man in the ring facing him, Johnny Kidd. Collar and elbow tie-up, Myatt forcing Kidd back into the ropes. And Johnny Kidd, much like Danny Collins, really only starting to come into his own as the World of Sport was reaching its dying days, sadly. We heard there from our ring announcer Steve Litton, 24 appearances on the World of Sport TV show. Nonetheless, he has accomplished so much in his career, wrestling not just here, but in the United States of America and across the globe. And in the last 3 or 4 years, his career has enjoyed a renaissance of sorts here in LDN. Things really started to pick up when he won the Golden Grapplers Tournament 2007. And let's not forget, he was the last wrestler to win the Golden Grapplers tournament when it was an annual competition in 1997. Cartwheel there, still as athletic as ever. Absolute cat-like agility and balance. Goes down for the leg of Keith Myatt. And this may be somewhat of a styles clash for these two. Kidd, of course, the more technical of the pair. And Keith Myatt, the out-and-out brawler when he gets the opportunity. Again, another lock-up and a pair of closed fists. Myatt, of course, using his body to shield the view of referee Bob Stafford. But Stafford wasn't born yesterday. He knows what's going on. He is going to be keeping a very close eye on both men. And a little bit of hope for the hard of hearing there. Myatt, of course, a very respected veteran on the British wrestling circuit himself. Recently the subject of a documentary feature film. European uppercut there from Myatt. And Myatt's going to wish he'd listened to that referee. His ears are going to be bigger than Dumbo's by the end of this match. And somewhere in that cacophony was the bell signifying the end of round 1. The two men going back to their respective cornermen. In Johnny Kidd's corner you see there Aaron Young, a promising young LDN trainee. And in Keith Myatt's corner, Adam Mansfield, one of the LDN trainers, believe it or not. Round 2 begins, and Myatt comes out fighting. Just raking that nose. Has he got a thumb in the eye? He had a finger up the nostril, I'm sure of it. No place for that in the sport whatsoever. Elbow to the heart. And a very verbal Keith Myatt, having a heated exchange with the front row of fans. Kidd finally breaking free, comes off the ropes. And a beautiful leg drop there. Excuse me, a drop kick from Johnny Kidd. Sending Myatt reeling. Myatt asking for a timeout. He's certainly not going to get one from Bob Stafford. He is going to get counted out if he doesn't start playing by the rules. Myatt proffering a hand of friendship. Kidd in two minds whether or not to take it. Well, that deal was clearly taken off the table. Whip across the ring. And Keith Myatt saying, he's mine, he's mine. Not if Bob Stafford has anything to do with it. Breaking up that illegal chokehold in a hurry. Stafford again making sure those are open palmed strikes and not closed fists. And Bobby Stafford, a very hands-on referee, and I'm not totally sure I approve of that. Nonetheless, Legends Showdown 2, and Bobby Stafford's as big a legend as anyone here. Myatt to the outside now, taking a bit of a breather. And he's not going to receive too much sympathy from those fans. Particularly not after the slurs he threw their way earlier in the evening. There's the bell for the end of round 2, still 0-0. And this one could go the distance. Johnny Kidd is the last match before retirement. And again, Legends Showdown 2, we have seen some of the top stars. Mick McManus was here earlier in the evening for the Legends Parade. And a big thank you to the British Wrestlers Reunion for both helping to organise the parade and, of course, tonight's event as well. A big thank you very much to them. And, of course, a thank you to LDN. Be sure to check out our website, ldncapitaltv.com. And if you've ever fancied being a professional wrestler yourself, why not head down to one of the LDN wrestling training schools? Who knows, you could be the next Johnny Kidd. Of course, Johnny Kidd makes it look very easy. Over 30 years in the sport. You wouldn't think it to look at him. Still one of the very best, but now starting to wind down before a well-earned retirement. Credit to Johnny Kidd, he's realised he's not going to be able to go at this level forever. Oh, Myatt held onto the ropes, and that drop kick hit nothing but air. Myatt just stomping the prone body of Johnny Kidd. Now back up to his feet, whipped across the ring. Roll up there from Kidd. The shoulders are down. And he gets a fall. Johnny Kidd with a pinfall in the 3rd round of this matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, round 3, the first fall of the contest to Johnny Kidd.
Johnny Kidd goes 1 fall up, take a look at this, whips him out of the ropes, puts the brakes on, rolls him up.
First public warning goes to Keith Myatt.
Both legs hooked there, 1, 2, 3. And Myatt finds himself 1 fall down at the halfway point of this matchup.
Seconds away, round 4.
The second sent back to their corners. And this matchup resumes. 1 fall to Johnny Kidd. Keith Myatt yet to score. Johnny Kidd, of course, the MVP of Legends Showdown 1. Filling in for his injured friend Steve Gray to take on Johnny Saint in what some people have called the match of the year for last year. ...2007, Legends Showdown 1. And Kidd once again main eventing the show. This time closing it out against Myatt. The Stoke-on-Trent native, very proud of his northern heritage. And I think Myatt would like nothing more than to embarrass and humiliate Johnny Kidd on his final matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, in round 4, Keith Myatt receives his second and final public warning.
By second and final public warning from Bob Stafford, and Keith Myatt complaining about the somewhat capricious nature of the officiating. Not necessarily a view I share, but the leg hooked, and that could be all. And Kidd, I think, getting another up to that bottom rope. Or that would have been it for Johnny Kidd in this round. And again, Stafford going after those ears. And Keith Myatt's going to be picking up his grommets off the ring canvas sooner than later. Straight after Johnny Kidd, camel clutch, putting a lot of weight down on the lower spine. Pulling back that chin, putting pressure on the neck. A very painful maneuver indeed. And that clovering right hand probably wouldn't have helped matters either. Fingers up the nose, fingers up the nose. Stafford comes down hard on that. And Myatt looking to loosen that turnbuckle. And I think it had the desired effect. Because Kidd went down like a sack of potatoes after that. Kidd's 1 full up, let's not forget. He only needs to score a single pin to win the match. Myatt's playing catch-up. And Kidd, I think, says if you can't beat them, join them. And the shoulders down, there's the cover. Could have been all but Myatt kicked out, he's just got too much left. These two men, long-time professional rivals, Johnny Kidd and Keith Myatt. Professional rivals, geographical rivals, of course, the North-South divide. Keith Myatt immensely proud of his Stoke-on-Trent heritage. And Johnny Kidd, a proud Luton native. And there's a bell, and that is the end of the round. 3 minutes have passed. And Keith Myatt needs to get back to his corner or he is going to risk a disqualification, end of round or not. But the closing minutes of that round, they really took their toll on Johnny Kidd. Still struggling to get back up to his feet. And really looking the worst for wear after that round.
Seconds away, round 5.
2 rounds remaining and a leapfrog from Johnny Kidd straight over the referee. And Kidd, I think, has had enough. And he is trying to just split those legs wide open on the middle rope. Myatt maybe not as flexible as he once was. Certainly doing everything he can to prevent it. And, well, Johnny Kidd wanted to get Bobby Stafford involved, and I think Stafford thought about it, but he thought better. Myatt applying a nerve hold on those shoulders there now, just sapping the strength from Johnny Kidd. Kidd finds a way out. Double-handed axe chop, comes off the ropes and gets caught. Oh no, Johnny Kidd tangled in that top rope. He is tangled in that top rope and Myatt just tightening the rope on the other side of the ring. Somebody better get him out there. That is a very dangerous position. Take a look at this. He was just flung over the top rope and in attempting to catch himself, ended up entwined between the top and middle rope. And some fine officiating there from Bob Stafford, because if Kidd had been caught there for too much longer, he could well have passed out. But he gets a submission. Keith Myatt scores a submission over a weakened Johnny Kidd.
Round 5 is an equalising submission to Keith Myatt.
Take a look at this replay here. Hoists him in the air. And there was nothing Johnny Kidd could do about that one. Very painful nerve grip there. And Johnny Kidd, of course, in a much weakened state. You can see there just clasping the back of his neck. Well, that is for Johnny Kidd and Bob Stafford to decide, I think.
Away for the 6th and final round.
And Johnny Kidd did not even make it back to his corner in that rest period. Getting caught up in the ropes there took so much out of him. And not only have they left him physically weakened, but they have allowed Keith Myatt to equalise the scores. It's now 1-1 in the 6th and final round. And Keith Myatt, all credit to him, looks fresh as a daisy. And Johnny Kidd very much on his last legs. Myatt, I think, can sense victory now. Almost a playful knee to the back of the head. Just toying with his man, but he should have learned by now. He is a veteran of the sport himself. One of the first lessons you learn when you've got your man beat, you pin him. There's plenty of time for showboating at the victory party. Again, looking for a second submission. Kidd turning purple, but he'll pass out before he gives up. Myatt looking for another way out. Misses a pair of clotheslines. Kidd comes off the ropes, goes for a cross body. Myatt caught him momentarily, but he couldn't hold him up. And Johnny Kidd scores a pinfall in the 6th and final round to win this one. 2 falls to 1.
2 falls to 1. Johnny.
This one went the distance, but take a look at that. He ducked 2 clotheslines, came off the ropes with a flying cross body. Myatt tried to hold him up, but he didn't have the strength left in his body. The momentum of Kidd carried him over. The shoulders were down. Bob Stafford in position 1, 2, 3. And in the 6th and final round, Kidd scores the winning fall to win his final televised matchup. 2 falls to 1 against Keith Myatt. What a match. What a way to go. And what a show, what an evening we have seen, fans. Legends Showdown 2, a night that will live long in the memory.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we told you at the start of this contest, this is the final televised match and almost the very final match in the professional wrestling career of one of the great geniuses of his time, Johnny Kidd. And we can't let his final televised appearance following that. Welcoming back into the ring to say farewell to some of the greats that you see this evening. So please welcome again, Johnny Kincaide, Johnny Collins, and Johnny Saint.
Well, what a tribute for Johnny Kidd here tonight.
And also the LDN champion, Yorghos.
Not only respected by the fans, but by his colleagues and peers as well.
Final appearance, he's been presented by the owner of LDN Sanjay Bagel, a lifetime achievement
award. A very fitting tribute indeed, a lifetime achievement award for this great athlete. Fantastic display, a man who has given so much to the business. And now just enjoying a mere token of the esteem in which he is held by his peers and colleagues. A phenomenal display, a great win, and a fantastic career as well.
One more time, please, for Johnny Kidd.
Well, fans, we have just about seen it all here tonight on Legends Showdown. David DeVille and Danny Garnell tore things up in the first one, ensuring this sport is safe for decades to come.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, lads. many of you know, I know Johnny Saint, Danny Collins, Johnny Kincaide would know me from when I started, or in fact I knew Danny from when he started. John and Johnny have always been influences on my career. I actually wrestled John on my second television appearance. Brent Town Hall went there, I'll always remember John. 1981. I didn't beat you then either.
Well, I was there.
I never beat you in Germany either the other week, but still. Lads, this is a great promotion again. Mr. Barrett here has tried very, very hard to put this promotion on the map, and I think he's doing a very, very good job. I hope you agree with that. I'm sure there's many more promotions that we can have around the country. And if you see any of them advertised by LDN here, very, very worthwhile visiting. Again, I'm just going to say thanks, guys. I've enjoyed my time in this. But somebody once told me, nothing lasts forever. And in my case, that's it now. Got 3 jobs left. And that's it. I'd like to thank you all this support of the year.
A man bowing out at the top of his game. Johnny Kidd. A phenomenal speech, a great ovation, a great match, a great evening. As I said, we have seen it all here tonight. Legends Showdown 2. A next generation World of Sport classic. The return of Danny Collins, Johnny Saint back in action. Blondie Barrett lost the Sword of Excellence, but set up a cage match for some time in the future against the LDN British champion Yorghos, who is 2-0 at Legends Showdown. John Ritchie and Johnny Kincaide battle to the hilt, and now in the final, Johnny Kidd defeating Keith Myatt 2-1 in his final televised matchup. Fans, my name is Mr. TV John Atkins. From all of us here at LDN, thank you very much for watching, and good night.
From all of us at LDN Wrestling, thank you for coming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you very much for attending this wonderful Legends 2 evening. Thank you for inviting me back for the second time running. I'm deeply, deeply honoured and humbled to be here in the illustrious company that I'm with tonight. Thank you. Before I introduce the 2 people that I've been asked to come here for, I would like to just say hello to some of the legendary wrestlers that have taken the trouble to join us here this evening. So may I ask some of them to come forward and take a bow inside the camera area, please. The boys over in the corner, come up in the ring, please, say hello. These are the men, ladies and gentlemen, that entertained you for upwards of 30 years of their lives, taking knocks and bangs every night of the week. Please say hello, give them a warm welcome as they come in. And could I ask the 2 that are hiding outside the curtain to come in, please? Ladies and gentlemen, just to introduce them in order, the legendary referee who's working here tonight, Mr. Bobby Stafford. And another legendary guest of the year, now country and western singer, Billy LaRue. Next to him, the former legendary wrestler, son of the legendary Bob Archer O'Brien, Bob Anthony. And next to him, Mad Eli. And Mad Money. Hello, Eli. And next to him, the East Anglia champion, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Bass. And hiding outside, just in the doorway, the evergreen Mr. Steve Gray. There is Steve Gray. And another legendary heavyweight, one of the great wrestlers of yesteryear, Mr. Lee Bronson.
Come on, Lee. Please take a bow. Lee Bronson, ladies and gentlemen. And not to forget the second of the guest of the year, a man who's been on TV more time than the wrestlers. Where is he, Mr. Charlie Cornish? He's over in the corner. Come on, Charlie. And also Mr. Ted Fretwell. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the real reason that I've been asked to come here tonight is to honour two of the great legends of the wrestling business. And I mean the word legends, as I've never meant it before. When we speak about legends, we naturally think of Les Kellett, or we think of Big Daddy, or one of the big names from TV. But the first man I'm going to introduce you this evening doesn't really fit that category, although he's known to millions as the greatest referee we've ever had in Great Britain. I'm referring, of course, to Mr. Joe D'Orazio. Not yet. This great man, ladies and gentlemen, was born way back in 1922 in the roughest part of south-east England, where at school two of his classmates were actually hanged for murder. Five of Joe's classmates ended up professional wrestlers, and his greatest friend from his childhood was the Iron Man Steve Logan. They grew up together, they fought together. During the war, they both joined up. After the war, Joe took up judo and became a black belt, first dan within a year. Yes, Joe, you remember? In 1948, his cousin, the legendary Mike Marino, took him into the wrestling business, where he became a great star for the next 20 years, followed very shortly by Steve Logan. Yes? His tag partner for all those years was the wonderful Paul Lincoln, who you might know as Dr. Death. In 1968, Joe had been injured so badly he had to quit. His last bout was against George Kidd, the world lightweight champion. But the wrestling was in his blood, and so he turned to refereeing. And for the next 20 years, he travelled Europe and Britain as the greatest referee we ever had in this country. He also, during the day, worked at Dale Martin's, the promoters, doing all the advertising, the writing, and all the promos for that company, which then was the biggest company in the world. And you're talking about 10 shows a day. But away from all that, ladies and gentlemen, Joe writes. He paints, and he does poetry. As a writer, he wrote The Who's Who of Wrestling in 1971 with Pam Edwards, one of the great novels of wrestling that to this day is used as a reference side book. As poetry, he has written 300 poems that have been published that we know of. Some of them like Ode to Mad Hammer, which was very dark and daunting, and some other softly lyrical ones which he dedicated to his Italian-born wife, Tina. Away from that, again, he worked all day helping disabled and mentally retarded people, along with Steve Gray, a fact that none of you know, working together to help disabled people to paint and have a life of their own. They said that it couldn't be done, but they did do it, and the people that these helped have had exhibitions of their own in the Royal Society of Arts, in Covent Garden, in all over Britain, displaying the art that these people have done. And Joe, to this day, at 86 years old, still goes to work and still helps those disabled people. In a moment, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask somebody special to come up and present Joe with a Life Achievement Award. Before I do so, would you be so gracious as to allow me just to read one verse of one poem that he wrote?
It's about a man who's dead, and it's called Tell Them I Sleep. Tell them I sleep in a marble bed, with cypress towering overhead. 'Neath a blanket of green, I dream my dream, the present, the future, and what has been. And should they ask as to my life, say I left behind a wife, who to herself and me was true, and never gave me cause to rue, but with soft and warm caress, filled all my nights with tenderness. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful man that is Joe D'Orazio. Of course, as you probably already know, Joe is also president of the British Wrestlers Reunion, which he's built into the second biggest reunion on earth, just behind the American Cauliflower Rally Club. And now, to present his award, I need to not really introduce this man. He is the legend of all legends in professional wrestling in this country. He started in 1948, the same time as Joe D'Orazio. They were friends then, and they are friends now. This man was a welterweight who forged his way up the ranks to become the best-known wrestler that has ever got into a British ring. To this day, 25 years after he retired, if I mention wrestling on television, in the next breath you will mention his name. I promise you. On Cup Final Day in the 80s, he drew 22 million people to watch a bout against Jackie Pallo. You know who I mean. He is the one, the only, the legendary Mick McManus. Ladies and gentlemen, ever sprightly, ever fit, 86 years old. There's never been anyone like him, and there never will be ever again. Mick, I'll hand you the microphone, and would you please give Joe his Life Achievement Award?
Thank you very much. That reception game was a bit more friendly than my wrestling days. It's a pleasure to give this award to Joe, an old friend of mine. Known him for many years. We used to have a few differences of opinion in the old days when he was refereeing someone like that, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, it gives me great pleasure to give him this LDN Promotions, Joe D'Orazio. Joe? But before I do, I want to thank Sanjay for keeping wrestling alive in this neck of the woods. Anyway, lovely. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you.
Well, of course, it is an honour to receive this. I've received many things in my past career. Some have been happy events, sad events, but tonight is a very, very happy event for me to receive. I've been a bit embarrassed here while he's been plugging me, this chap over here. But tonight, there's one other thing that makes me very proud. I can claim, I think, to be the only wrestler in the world, anywhere, the only wrestler ever to be kissed by Mick McManus. Thank you.
God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, what can you say? Joe D'Orazio and Mick McManus. Now, thank you so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. But it wouldn't be fitting to let one go without the other one being honoured, because what else can I add to what I've already said and we all feel? Could I ask the world lightweight champion, Johnny Saint, to come back into the ring, please, and offer Mick McManus a Life Achievement Award for everything he's ever done for this wrestling business.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I make this presentation, looking around all the faces here, if I was to add all the ages up collectively, it must be 2,000 years in age here. And considering that I'm only 25 years old, I don't realise, I don't know how I know them all. But seriously, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great, great pleasure indeed to make this presentation to the legendary, one and only, Mick McManus. Congratulations, and I'm sure everybody there wishes you all the best.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Sir. And I remember wrestling John on a few occasions. I won't tell you the result. But I don't think one too many, did you, John? But anyway, thank you very much. It's been marvellous to be here tonight with all some of the old faces. Unfortunately, a lot of them have passed by the wayside. Anyway, at least there are some here, and we always remember them. And let's make sure that wrestling keeps going in this neck of the woods. And CJ is, let's give them all a big round of applause for that.
Mick McManus, ladies and gentlemen. And while we're on the business of saying hello, I've just spotted a couple of people in the audience. Won't be familiar to you. Who remembers Johnny Quango? Well, over there's his daughter Brenny and his granddaughter Michelle. Say hello, kids. They've come to support Johnny Kincaide tonight, who was Quango's best friend. The great Johnny Quango. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've bored you long enough. Thank you so much for your courtesy and your good manners of listening to us. And now let's get on with what we're here for, the wrestling. Thank you.